Did you see the ESPN's most recent 30 for 30 on Street Ball?
I didn't see it yet.
And the
but
And One
I'm sure
mixtape?
it's really good. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I heard a lot of good
You're
things
in
about
it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, you know what?
he was that dude. He was that dude.
Well, you know, like back a lot of times they don't put me in those docs in the Rucker. I never lost a game in the Rucker. I got 3 titles in the Rucker. I never lost one game. But
Damn.
well, I missed like
That's because nobody wants to play you.
Huh?
Yeah, whose team did you play on?
I played for the first time I played was with Stefan Marbury and Skip Tamalu. I was 16 years old. I didn't play much, and then the next couple of years I played with Diddy. So I got 2 titles for Diddy, and I got one title. No, I got 1 title for Diddy, 2 titles for Fat Joe, in the Rucker. Yeah, so I played.
Is that the one where no one showed up in the fact? Because I played for Jermaine. I played on Jermaine Dupri's team, and I feel like we beat Fat Joe's team. You weren't there, but they had Kenyon. They had, I think, maybe Jamal Crawford. But I want to ask you one. Like, I saw the most random thing online. So people don't know, if you don't know Metta, like there's a New York legacy to what like he's done, and this was, I want to say, towards the end. And when I say this respectfully, but like New York had a stretch. It was Steph, it was Sebastian Talafer, it was you, it was Lamar, and there was even more guys. But I saw Elton Brand,
Ben
guys,
Gordon.
I'm talking about like the New York City guys.
People forgot
Like, it was like
Elton
but
Brand
like
was nasty.
Omar Cook. People might not remember that. No, he just
Oh, my
retired.
God.
He
He
just,
just retired,
now
yeah.
stopping.
Yeah.
He just retired.
What?
I was like, I saw a video clip and I was like, wait, that's the Omar Cook. He played overseas and was like he went overseas and
Yeah.
it became like, he kind of was like Stefan Marbury in China, but he was overseas like balling,
Yeah.
still playing. I'm like, bro, he's got to be 40 years old, 39, 40
Oh, he
years
is.
old.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
Yeah.
I played
But
with
he
Omar.
played- but was he on your Riverside? Yeah, he played on Riverside team with you, right?
Yeah, he was our point
Riverside?
guard, but he was always 2 years younger than us. But he was such a great point guard, so he always played
Yeah,
up. And he
yeah.
started for us, and he just led our team. We actually kind of
No,
maybe
he was-
stunted his growth a little bit because he was like feeding the ball to Elton, myself, when and Lamar sometimes, and I think that kind of made him like a team point guard, a pass first versus being in his prime and scoring. But he's
Yeah,
always
you were like, give me the ball.
Right.
Give me the ball. Like, yo, bro, you're here to get a lot of assists. You don't shoot the ball.
yeah, he's a hell of a player. He had a little time where
That's a dirty AAU team who you just named. Like, oh, just me, Elton Brand, Lamar Odom. It's just like, oh, just us 3. You're like, what do you mean us 3?
Yeah.
People forget how good Elton Brand was and how strong that fool was. They forget Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
They only know the Laker Lamar Odom. They didn't see the Miami Lamar Odom. They definitely didn't see the Clipper Lamar Odom. And then and they only know the Lakers. They don't know the Indiana, the Houston, the Sacramento.
Elton was
If you had to
Right?
play Riverside,
Yeah,
you had
like,
to play the
that's a
Gaucho,
crazy
Riverside
team.
Church. Those were the teams that, like, you're just like, you come from the West Coast and you would hear just stories, and all of a sudden you'd walk into
Oh.
the gym. It's like, all right, everyone, like, and look, we were from Arizona, so we didn't walk into any gym like with any sort of swag, but we would walk in. It's like, all right. Everybody
None.
keeps talking about this Riverside Church. Like, man, I've been hearing about them for 10 years. Who's on this team? You're like, those kids aren't 16, yo. Like, who are those kids? Because it was like Lamar Odom driving to the game. Then it was like, like Metta over here, bigger than people's dads. Then you have point guards out here doing weird. And you're like, yeah, like maybe we should go back to Arizona.
that
and just
team
hang
was
out there.
crazy. We would win championships by 50
Yeah,
points.
yeah,
Like we lost one game to Baron Davis team that one summer, but then we came back and beat them. Baron was
he
really
was
good. They beat us.
nasty.
They were the only team to beat us. We came back and beat them in the finals, but Baron wasn't there. We beat them by 20 in the final. Baron wasn't there, but that was the only team we lost to. But we beat so many teams, and we had just trying to run the score up. It was just like, it wasn't fair, man. It wasn't fair, but it was a great team, man. Elton always been the same, too. He's been the same professional person since high school. Same guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just that dude.
Yep.
Is there a story
Allie,
that's
you
not
got
out
something to
there
say,
from
you
your
said.
Rucker Park days that like stands out to you, or like that one of your favorite stories about that time?
I mean,
That
Rucker
maybe
was
we don't
insane
know.
at that time. Our era, it was crazy because like the games was packed. people on top of the trees, on top of the bridge, on top of in the buildings, just jam packed like a club, like it's just unbelievable. And it's just not the same. That's what you remember about the Rucker, going to the games and police barricades, can't get in the park, and it was just crazy. But now it's not like that anymore. I don't know what happened.
I know, obviously, like one of the topics that came up during that movie was about street ballers being able to play in the NBA during that time, and like almost every NBA guy said absolutely not. You mean to tell me how many guys are in the NBA?
No,
how many guys are in the NBA?
I played against 400. I played against some guys. I played against one guy who came straight out of prison, 7 years. He gave me 57. I brought the Maloose to the game. This is dude from Kingdom Projects. And Maloose, it was about to be a big fight too. I brought the owners. They drinking like it was wild. He was wild at the game, but it was some talented players. Ali Mo, who passed away. Ali Mo, like 6'9" point guard. But a lot of these guys, it takes the discipline. It takes the the conditioning. It takes a lot to make it to the league, but when you talk about just basketball, it was a lot of guys who played who was really talented.
Well, it's so that's the difference.
Wow.
It's like there's a difference between being talented
Right.
enough to play in the league. Oh, there's a ton of these guys. Like Skip to Malou, like people don't understand. And like this, like when Skip was starting to do that, there were guards that could do all of the J Will, all the J Kids, Skip to my Lou. Like he was one of the best. But like there's just a different discipline, and Metta knows this. There's a different, like the NBA is a business, and that's the part that people forget. It's not just a business, it's the business of basketball. So not only do you have to play basketball, you have to be disciplined of every day you got to show up, every day you got to work, every day you got to compete for your job. Even if you average 20 points, even if you didn't play in the beginning of the season, you got to stay a professional like Metta did in Houston, and then he goes to average 20, and then after he averages 20, he goes to Lakers, and they're like, don't shoot. And you're like, wait, I just said average 20. Like, if you can't handle those things, you can't play in the NBA. It's not like very few players are just like, hey, you're a top 10 draft pick, you're our leading scorer, and then you're going to do that for 15 years. Like that's you can count on both hands the amount of guys that have those type of careers. So if you can't handle the business of basketball, and that's what a lot of people miss out. Fuck. Yeah. I'm not the most talented guy that I played against that played. Like you, Metta, you definitely played against guys when you were like 19 years old. You're like, this dude is way better than I am.
Definitely.
Like I like watching him play, but like he never made it to the NBA. You know?